My father thanked me for giving up my full scholarship before I had told anyone I was giving it up. It was 2 days before his wedding. I was 18, with 2 suitcases packed upstairs for my dorm. Dad lifted his glass and announced that I had decided to stay home with his fiance's 3 children while she completed a 6-month nursing contract in another city. She's putting family first, he said. Both sides of the family applauded. Her youngest climbed down from his chair and handed me a card covered in crooked hearts. Thank you for staying with us. I looked from the card to Dad. He was watching me carefully now. I'm still leaving for college next week. The applause died one person at a time. Dad opened the kitchen drawer and brought back my red college folder. 3 weeks earlier, I had given it to him because the college fund was in his name. He offered to pay my $600 housing deposit, then claimed the activation letter had not arrived. The sealed envelope was inside. Its postmark was 3 weeks old. I opened my student portal on my phone and entered the code. A red banner appeared above my room assignment. Payment due tomorrow, 12 p.m. After that, the room would be released. My scholarship covered tuition and a dorm after enrollment, not the advance deposit. 4 hours from home, I could not attend without that room. Why didn't you give me this? Dad said 6 months would not ruin my life. College would still be there in January. I pulled the remaining papers from the folder. A folded bank statement slipped free and landed between our plates. The account my parents had called my college fund since I was 9 held $312.47. I checked the number twice. Below it were payments to the wedding venue, the caterer, and 2 airline tickets leaving the morning after the ceremony. Dad reached for the statement, but I put my hand over it. He said the account was legally his, and the money had stayed in the family. Postponing 1 semester was not losing my future. His fiancée slid a schedule beside the statement. My name filled every school morning, afternoon, and most evenings through February. Dad planned to work remotely from her hospital apartment. The youngest leaned against my chair. Are you still taking us to school Monday? No one answered him. Below the schedule was a temporary caregiver authorization. His mother had signed. My line was blank. I went upstairs for my charger. A narrow bed now stood between mine and the desk. Plastic drawers of children's clothes locked the closet, and my graduation photo had been moved to the windowsill for another copy of the schedule. None of it had been there when I left for work that morning. I found his fiancée downstairs and asked whether Dad had really told them I'd promised to stay. She smoothed the schedule instead of answering. Rent on an empty apartment was wasteful, she said. Dad had warned her I might panic, but once the children settled, I wouldn't leave. I offered to help through the wedding weekend while they found someone else. Dad shook his head, repeating 6 months like a number I'd chosen. I asked why he couldn't stay. Instead, his job had been remote for years. He talked about deadlines and client calls until I asked again. Finally, he said, I'm not starting my marriage 6 months away from my wife. After Mom died when I was 10, he called me mature whenever I cooked or solved something he forgot. I still caught myself counting how many weeks I might manage before the card bent in my hand. Dad pushed the authorization toward me. His fiancée said my mother would have wanted me to hold the family together. She had never met my mother. I looked at the empty line and pushed the form back. Put your name there. Dad's face changed. He said he had a full-time job. When I reminded him that college was full-time too, he told me not to throw away my family over money. I slid the bank statement into the red folder. He said if I left, I should not expect a home or another dollar. Around the table, people studied their plates. No one offered to take 1 week from the schedule. I called a friend. She arrived while I was still holding the child's card. That night, I lay on her parents' pull-out couch, the red folder open on the floor, and got the housing code wrong once before the payment page appeared. At 9:14 the next morning, I paid $600 from my summer savings. The screen changed to housing confirmed. I stared at those words until they stopped shaking. The housing office changed my recovery email and removed Dad from my profile. During the rehearsal, I packed my suitcases and left my house key on the counter. They married Saturday. On Sunday morning, his new wife flew to her contract alone. Dad signed the caregiver form and stayed with the children. After his first day of drop-offs and pickups, he messaged that I'd made my point and should come home while he found another arrangement. I did not answer. A few days later, I spent $40 on a bus ticket and moved into my dorm. The red folder sits on my desk now. Inside are the bank statement, my housing confirmation, and the card with crooked hearts. Dad's name is no longer on anything inside it.